Good morning and welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago. We continue with the program. The National Cocoa Awards was launched last Wednesday at the Ministry's Cocoa Estate. Here to tell us more, we have Dr. Darren Suka, food technologist and research fellow UWI. And we also have Ms. Gabriela Gonzalez, marketing manager, Cocoa Development Company of Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
So let's get into it. This is actually an event, the National Cocoa Awards. What was it exactly about? What was it all about?
Well, the Cocoa Awards actually serves three main functions. It's firstly an attempt to improve the quality of cocoa from Trinidad and Tobago. Secondly, it's an attempt also to recognize and empower farmers in the context of expressing the flavors that exist in Trinidad cocoa, and also recognizing the skill in expressing these flavors. And thirdly, it serves as an entry point into the Cocoa of Excellence program to be recognized, hopefully, at the International Cocoa Awards at the Salon du Chocolat in Paris next October.
Sounds exciting.
Yes. It does.
Now, how long have we been engaged in this sort of initiative?
This was the inaugural competition that we're having.
Okay.
For years, samples from Trinidad and Tobago have been going up to the international COEX. However, for the first time, we're trying to recognize at least 20 finalists from all different sizes of estates throughout Trinidad. So you have small farms, medium-sized, large farms being represented. Because, I mean, not every single sample is going to be eligible to enter the COEX, but at the same time, there's still a lot of quality, diversity, and really good craftsmanship, care, and expertise that goes into getting quality beans. And we want to recognize that with national awards so that, every single farmer feels that, they have an opportunity to be represented and their work could be celebrated in a national way.
How important is an initiative like this, considering our cocoa is considered the best in the world?
It's actually very, very important in the context of, firstly, empowering farmers to understand and recognize the quality that they have, as well as to facilitate business-to-business linkages. And that once you understand and appreciate the value of what you have, then you are operating in a position of power in terms of how you sell this, how you can market it. And now the cocoa sector has really transitioned into a free enterprise mode of operation, and there are so many opportunities for people to explore in terms of selling their beans, making chocolate, making cocoa-based products, etc. So it's very exciting.
So people are coming on board and taking advantage of this amazing opportunity.
Yes.
To showcase our local cocoa.
What we've done is we have, at Cocoa Development, we have cocoa development officers who are in the field with the farmers. So prior to even the launch of the event, they were getting the farmers ready because they have to have the beans, dried and fermented once the crop has come in, and start working on their samples very carefully. So we have actually a long collection period of time from July 1st straight until December 14th, so that we can collect beans at whenever the harvests come in. That's why the period. And then the processing of the cocoa actually, the beans, after you crack them, it takes almost like 2 weeks to produce a dried bean. So that's one of the reasons we would have had some pre-communication with the farmers, and they're very excited. People have beans already, to enter. So, people are enthusiastic, and I think it's the first time, it's really been going to be so broad-based. So, everybody's looking forward, I would say that.
So what are you looking for in the competition itself?
Well, basically, it's open to all cocoa farmers. We have 15 clusters of about 230 active farmers. They can of farm sizes that are from small to large. They can enter, and really, it's about getting unique and diverse flavors. And the Cocoa of Excellence program internationally, we have competed in every edition since 2009, and we have won successive editions of the International Cocoa Awards. Basically, the world is broken up into 5 main areas. We have we compete in the Central America, Caribbean region. Then we have Asia Pacific, Africa and the Indian Ocean, and South America. And since 2009, we have made it into the top 50, and this is amongst over 200 sample entrants from over 40 countries. And last year, we had 2 samples making it into the top 50. We didn't win an international cocoa award because the rest of the world actually have now reached where we are. So we are stepping up our game this year. So that's why having the awards really gives a sort of a tangible recognition to the effort, as well as to the farmers who work hard every single day.
Provides that sort of incentive as well. Let's look at the cocoa industry in Trinidad and Tobago. How has it been progressing over the years? How would you say?
All right, let's see. So you talk to people and they say, but the industry is in decline, we have an aging farmer population, and all these negative things, right? From where I sit, and at the Cocoa Research Center where I work at UE, we do chocolate making course, right, for 5 days. And we have a new generation of farmers. We have young entrepreneurs who have either inherited land from their family or purchased land, and they want to monetize this investment. So they are willing to make or do what is necessary to enter into the cocoa value chain, to increase production, to make chocolates, to make any of the range of products that are possible. So this is an exciting development. So we have doctors, lawyers. I've had a cardiac surgeon come in, you know. So it's, for me, it's an exciting time because there's so much opportunity and people are recognizing it.
So people, you agree with that?
No, I would definitely. We're actually, cocoa development, we are undertaking right now, we're calling it the Trinidad and Tobago Fine or Flavor Cocoa Registry, where we actually have census enumerators doing into a lot of areas, because we've noticed there are a lot of people who are farming cocoa who are maybe undocumented. We're trying to track their information, get a proper sense of where the industry stands, because there may be persons who would have been older farmers and stuff, but their younger generation, their children are now operating the estates, but we may not be aware of it. So you find that we need to get documentation on who is out there, what is the scale of their operation, how much they're farming, because we're, as a nation, making a concerted effort towards producing, better quality cocoa, but higher production and output. So we really need to document who they are so that we could also work with them in the fields and be able to supply people who are learning to make chocolate and those things.
Let's look at the demand for our cocoa. When we talk about the demand, let's look at how Trinidad and Tobago is poised to meet that demand.
Our production has come down from the 1920s when cocoa was king in Trinidad, from 35,000 metric tons. Now we produce between 400 to 500 metric tons, which is a far cry from what we used to produce. But it's a different socioeconomic environment in which we're operating in. So we have low volumes, but we have high price. So basically our markets is like champagne, where we have branded products, origin products that are traceable back to the farm, back to the varieties. So we have very high value, ultra niche marketing. So it's not niche marketing, but ultra niche marketing, where people are willing to pay a premium price. And this is where understanding the terroir or sense of place of where these beans come from and expressing that flavor potential is very important. So it all ties in. The National Cocoa Awards, improving quality, the business-to-business linkages, marketing and branding, etc. So it's all tied together.
Wonderful. So if we get back to the actual competition, when will the winners be announced?
That will be, well, the judging takes place in January. We actually have an international judge coming in to have a specialist panel. No, because it has to be credible. It has to be of the highest standards. So we're going to have that happen in January. The winners will be announced late January, early February, because the 5 finalist samples have to go up to Salon in the month of February.
So all farmers have registered for the competition already, or is it still open?
It's still open
Okay.
because they have months of collection. So when they're ready with their beans, then they submit.
Okay, so they
yeah.
submit their beans.
They have to submit a 10 kg sample of dried beans,
Mm-hmm.
and the samples will come in. The field officers will collect, or they can drop them off at Ministry of Agriculture Extension offices. Those will come in, they will be stored, they will be coded. Because the other thing is we want to make sure it's as anonymous as possible.
Okay.
And then it goes through an initial panel of testing, and then we narrow it down, and then the 20, ideally I think it's the 20 last batch of samples will be sent to Cocoa Research Center. The beans have to actually be converted into cocoa liquor, right, which is for tasting. Right. And that is, well, Darren can tell you about cocoa liquor. So essentially that's what you taste. It's a stage before chocolate, and that's where the tasting and testing happens and for the final panel.
You'll need any judges for that?
Well, if you've ever tasted chocolate, cocoa liquor doesn't taste like that. It's the raw, it's the raw base for chocolate. So, but basically, it's a very thorough assessment where there are basically three levels of assessment. So there's a sort of initial screening, then it goes into a national level evaluation, both physical and sensory attributes, and then we have the international panel. And then those the best five, so we'll have 20 farmers that will be recognized, and then the best 5 will go on to the Cocoa of Excellence program, and hopefully if they win, they will make it to the International Cocoa Awards.
That sounds exciting. How do we get further information? Website?
You can contact all the agencies involved. So you can start with Cocoa Development Company, Cocoa Research Center. You can contact the Ministry of Agriculture, Cocoa Research Section. You can contact most farmers are involved with or have a sense of the Cocoa Development Company's field officers.
Right.
So they can call our office 671-1001 in Chaguanas, or check us out on Facebook.
Sounds exciting. I'm particularly interested in that chocolate making course. I'll call you about that. It's been a pleasure chatting with you. I really enjoyed this. We've been chatting with Dr. Darren Suka, Food Technologist Research Fellow, UWI, and Ms. Gabriela Gonzalez, Marketing Manager, Cocoa Development Company of Trinidad and Tobago. We take a short break. A lot more when we return. Stay tuned.